not us. This is what I kind of see it as the wheat and the chaff being separated. We are going to create an opportunity where all of us, all of the good people out there, assuming that I'm one, will be fully and completely free. We can have our abundance, but all the people who've been generating all their revenue, been making a very good living off of this deception, they're going to be stuck with that, paying the income tax. There you can't smoke pot. We can. You're a government employee. We're out of there. And if they ever try stepping out of their little system, the reason, when we all step out, this great big tiger is going to turn into a little kitten. Meow, meow, meow. And the lawyers are going to say, oh, well, you don't need us here anymore. We're going to go over. No, we saw what you did. You tried to make a cage around us. You are part of that cage forever. You stay there. And if you try stepping out of your cage, guess what happens? You're stepping right into our courts. And you're going to face charges of fraud. So you stay in your box, and we're staying in ours. This is why the deception is so magnificent. It's not going to affect us. It's only going to affect all the deceivers, all the judges, all the cops who refuse to, the people who seek benefit at our expense. Oh, payback is going to be a bitch when it comes. And I see it coming. And the reason it's going to have to happen is because we don't even have a society. The way I look at it, the law society, the lawyers, they have a proper society. They're making their rules. And if you go and you ask one of these members, is this a law? He can honestly tell you, yes, that's a law. I am bound by that. You will assume that you are too, but actually all he's telling you is all of these rules were created only by members of the law society. Who can they lawfully be applied to? Only members of the law society and those who begged to be... I'll get that.
Sorry.
No, that's okay, buddy. If you beg for permission, imagine you got a neighbor, your neighbor's got a pool. He tells you, you can have full access to my pool whenever you want. Does this mean you're an owner of the pool? No. Do you have a right to complain and bitch about how much chlorine is in there? No. Can he stop you from digging your own pool? No. And once we start digging our own pool, say, no, thank you, I don't need your court system anymore. I don't need your pool anymore. You put too much chlorine in there, and there's something floating. You get to create your own power, your own situation. This is what they don't like. We're working on developing and starting our own society. You'll all be invited to join. It's going to be called the Freeman Society of Canada. Now, I know women will say, oh, I want to be a free person. The term free man, the term man, is inclusive. It includes women and men. Right. Although the men used to be called weremen way back when. So when they referred to mankind, they were referring to both types of men. So don't get all sensitive about it and say, oh, it's got to be free person, because then you just blow it all to hell anyways. Yeah, free person. Oh, yeah. I've had people tell me, why don't you make it a free person society so I can join? Because there will be no persons. Now, what I'd like to share with you now is, well, actually using a notary public. The way to deal with the notary public, the directions you're going to be giving him, and it's in our package over here. You will go, these are the directions that I produced, and when he looked at it, he said, okay, fine. And I ended up getting a default judgment, and the only signature on it was the notary's. He wasn't attesting my signature. He was going through it. He is a witness to a process which is evidencing you trying to avoid conflict. We have a lot of remedy given to us by our Savior, Jesus Christ. And although I consider him my Savior, I consider him my Savior not because I pray to him and I'm going to get to heaven, but because he has taught me so much about the law. In the Bible, it tells you if you're on your way to court with someone, with your adversary, offer amends before you get to court. Otherwise, you can be delivered to the judge, he'll give you to the jailer, and you'll rot. In the Law and Equity Act, they express that if you offer mediation, discussion, or negotiation prior to court, and the other party refuses, guess what? They've lost. Your goal with the notary public is to take the responsible, adult, mature steps to avoid conflict. You're trying to avoid shit in your pants, no tantrums, and you're not rebelling. You're just being an adult. Step number one, You will witness the attestation of an affidavit and a notice of understanding and intent and a claim of right. That's his job. He's got to do it anyways. You will open up a file in your office, and therein you will keep all the originals of these documents. He can do that. You will create certified true copies of those documents, and you will serve those, or you will cause them to be served, or you will give them to me and I'll serve them on this party. Then I will come back with a certificate of service and give it to you. You will wait 10 days from the date of service in order to give the affected parties a chance to either accept the claim silently or send you a sworn and attested affidavit created upon their full commercial liability. And who's going to touch that? What government agent is going to step into that? They don't want to go there. If they don't do that, if within 10 days you receive a proper affidavit contesting the claims made, you will contact me, and then you will inform me of this contest. But if there is an absence of contest, then you will create and sign a default judgment. And then we got the notary to do that. And it's all within. I think what he liked about us, the reason we pulled him to this, is because he sees that what we're doing is actually very positive for the government, and he doesn't like what's happening either. I mean, he told us, I sure wish I could operate outside the box. This guy is so unhappy with the government, and there's a lot of people out there like that. So essentially, all you're doing is you're holding that notary to be your witness, and all you are doing is extending an offer to discuss. You're expressing your understanding. You're expressing your intent. There's an implied offer to discuss. If they don't accept that, you lose. The notary is my witness. He's going to sign a default judgment under the authority that's been granted to him under Section 18. Then you can take this. And we brought these in court before. Someone told me they brought it in court. And when it was mentioned to the judge about Section 18, he went, oh yeah, I'm familiar with that. They know exactly. The notary is the joker in the deck. They have all the power in the world. When you're playing these games with the government, the way I look at it, it's like a chess game. Who here has played chess? Anyone? Okay. What is the very first move in a chess game? If you want to win, you are going to have to make this one first move every time, and if you don't make this move, I guarantee you lose. Anyone? This is not a rhetorical question. Now's the time, smart boy. What is the move? No. You put your pieces on the board. If you never put your pieces on the board, if you show up with a king and a pawn and all their pieces are on the board, which is what they want you to do in court, you're going to lose. If, however, you start saying, okay, here's my pieces, they start seeing that you know how the game is played, then it becomes more powerful. Then they start looking and, oh man, we don't want to play with this guy. It's going to get too difficult. Now here's a funny thing. You let them act first. They're the moving party. They put their pieces on the board. Okay, now it's my turn. I'm putting my queen dead center. You can't do that. You have to put your pieces back here. Says who? You put your pieces on the board where you want them. I get to put my pieces on the board where I want them. Then you place your pieces so they can't even move. Guess who won the game? What, you can't move? Hi, you lose. Remember to put your pieces on the board. If you aren't doing a proper notice of understanding and intent, if you're not claiming a right, you don't even have your queen on that board. You're going to get your butt handed to me. You're not going to win that game. Some of the strategies that I found for dealing with cops that seem to work. One, make sure you always recognize you are dealing with a human being. These are human beings that they don't know the law any more than you do, likely. They don't really. I found that people who benefit from any societal mechanism rarely wish to understand that mechanism, especially if understanding it limits their power over you. They will always interpret these words in a manner that maximizes their claim of authority over you. If, however, you remember they're human beings, you treat them with love, you treat them with the compassion that we are all worthy of, we are all due a certain amount of compassion. If they do have to arrest you and bring violence, they don't take you down, they don't beat you up, they don't cuff you really hard. They will treat you with the respect that you give them, especially if, before going in there and asking them these questions, you have filed documents. You've served a notice of understanding and intent, a claim of right, and most importantly, you have a fee schedule filed. The fee schedule, my fee schedule states that if I'm stopped by a cop for statutory compliance checks or anything like that, If they're respectful, I'm not going to activate my fee schedule. But otherwise, if they make demands upon me, I get paid $200 an hour, and I'm going to collect. I'll use my notary to collect, and they know I can achieve these things. If they arrest me, if they try to take me away, seize me, put cuffs on me, $2,000 an hour or a portion